All right, let's talk about Grammy night because there's a lot of big stories that came out of that, including rapper Killer Mike being arrested. So the Los Angeles Police Department said that on February 4th, just after 4 p.m., a male adult was detained and handcuffed for a physical altercation that occurred near the Grammys. The suspect was placed under arrest and was transported to the LAPD. So in a separate post, they revealed that the suspect was Killer Mike and that he had been booked for misdemeanor battery and was being released. So this happened after the Hollywood Reporters, one of their journalists, sparked a concern after sharing a video of the musician walking out of the awards ceremony in handcuffs. According to that reporter, Killer Mike's team was initially informed that it was possible he may be released, but details were unclear. So they said it was a misdemeanor and that it had nothing to do with what happened at the Grammys. So it was surprising that this arrest was made at the Grammys and they didn't just wait until after, or, kind of break that down for me and why they decided to do that there.
Christina, I'm not surprised that the arrest was made. And my office is literally across the street from Crypto.com Arena. So I know this area very well. There's a pretty significant law enforcement presence here because, the Lakers, Clippers, Kings, Sparks, they all play here. So something must have happened, something that law enforcement saw, and they're a regular presence here. So it doesn't sound like it was a felony. So it means likely there's no weapon involved or great bodily injury, but some sort of skirmish, some sort of fight. And law enforcement deemed it prudent to arrest Killer Mike. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be prosecuted. Oftentimes misdemeanors like this aren't prosecuted in the city of LA. Unfortunately, that's a separate issue. And it's something that our city attorney and district attorney don't necessarily take seriously here, these types of misdemeanor assaults. But you never know. It may still result in criminal charges. And of course, as we know with these assaults, the victim can always file a civil claim as well. But I'm not surprised Killer Mike was arrested. I just don't necessarily think he's going to be prosecuted unless there's some injuries here.
Right. I mean, he even said that this was kind of like a big nothing. That who knows? Maybe we wouldn't have even really heard about it if it wasn't Grammy night and at such a public forum.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're talking about the Grammys. There's going to be significant police presence, significant law enforcement presence. They're here because they're concerned about something much more serious. I mean, this is, one of the biggest events of the year in Los Angeles. They need to make sure everything's safe. There's no one brings a gun. There's no terrorism, anything like that. So, even if it comes to a small fight, that's something that law enforcement is going to react to, make sure they separate the individuals, keep everyone safe. But I don't necessarily think anything big will come out of it from a legal perspective.
Definitely. Then, of course, I have to get your take on Lizzo presenting at the Grammy Awards. Obviously, your firm has been representing the dancers that have come forward against Lizzo. So what was your reaction? What was their reaction? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, Christina, I have to say I was very disappointed that the Recording Academy would allow Lizzo to present an award, given that she's facing all sorts of accusations regarding sexual harassment, discrimination, racism, fat shaming. And this is just 2 days after the judge in the case denied Lizzo's motion to dismiss and said the case can move forward to a jury trial. So, I think there is sometimes a double standard when it comes to celebrities. And the question I ask is, if this were a man that was accused of all this, would they be given the same opportunity to present an award? I think they would have been canceled a long time ago. So it just really emboldens my clients to move forward with the case, push the case to a jury trial so they can tell their story. And if and when a jury sides with them, then maybe people will realize that the Lizzo in public is not the Lizzo that does all this problematic behavior behind closed doors.
Right. And congratulations moving forward to a jury trial. I'm sure that's exactly what you were looking for in this case. So what are your next steps now going forward? Is it just kind of preparation?
So Lizzo's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss, which essentially stayed the case or put it on hold while the motion was being heard. But just Friday of last week, a judge said that, there were a couple claims that were dismissed, 3, but the rest of them remain, including the most serious ones involving sexual harassment and the new dancers and the bananas and all the salacious things that we've read and talked about here on Legalia. So those claims remain, and we're planning to move forward now to depose Lizzo, depose other people that worked for her, exchange written discovery and push the case to trial as quickly as possible, because we know that someone is lying here, either Lizzo or our clients. And I think a jury is going to be able to sort that out pretty quickly.
And, you know, if and when it comes to that and Lizzo is found guilty of these charges, what could happen to her after that?
So then the jury is going to have to decide what type of damages to pay. And there's different types of damages: lost wages, emotional distress, punitive damages to punish her for her conduct. So, you know, here's someone that's come out and hasn't apologized, hasn't tried to make amends, and said that the people that used to work for her, her dancers, are liars. So I think the jurors are going to take all that into consideration in deciding what type of damages to award.
Now that her team knows that this is going to trial, is there a better chance that she will settle before this happens, though?
I don't think so, Christina. You know, this isn't a Diddy type of case where, you know, we've been in settlement talks. They haven't accepted any responsibility and said they plan on appealing this order. So clearly they're not happy with it. We'll see what chances they have on appeal. I don't think they do. It's not just one victim. We have 4, and there are more that have come forward as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go to trial, we have even more victims than that.